Hello, this is Ruth Ann McKinnon. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing another blue bin special video. I'm going to do it a little differently this time. Instead of pulling the fragrances out of the bin, I took them already out and I'm just showing you this is where I keep them. Just if you're new here, what I mean by blue bin is I shop my own collection, put them all in this bin, leave them in the place in my home where I normally apply fragrance. And I use those exclusively for a period of weeks to this time it's been over a month because I've been extremely busy. And then after I've used them extensively over this period of time, I bring them here to you, let you know what I think of them and review them. I don't go over notes and fragrantica because I want to give you my honest opinion of what it smells like rather than what it's the manufacturer or other people think. So I'm going to get started. First, this is a very well-known fragrance. This is Latafa Yara Moi. I definitely gave in to the hype on these Yara fragrances. I don't remember how long ago, a year and a half ago, I bought Moi, Tous, and the pink one. I forget what that one's called. Anyway, I'm glad to be using them up because not super impressed with any of them. Again, this is Yara Moi. To me, this is just a generic, sweet, boring fragrance. I've been saying that about the Yara fragrances from the beginning. I just find them to be very generic. And I suppose the bottles should have been telling, but again, I watched the videos, I watched the reviews, everyone loved these, and they weren't expensive. So I gave them a try. Not overly impressed. So that's why I put them in this last batch to get used up. And this one is empty, I'm glad to say. So this, to me, my impression is it's a sweet, sugary jasmine with a bit of a powdery dry down. Overhyped, very simple fragrance. Fruity floral, I'd say more floral than fruity, but just a generic sweet. If you like just a generic sweet fragrance and you don't want to spend money, then would be good for you. The next one I have is Yara Tous. This one is also a very generic sweet fragrance. However, it's unique in that it has a mango note. It's very syrupy sweet. There is supposed to be a coconut note here. I don't pick up coconut at all. I do get the mango, however. But it smells a lot like canned mango, like when you open up the can and it's in that thick syrup, the sugary syrup. That's what it smells like to me. It doesn't smell like fresh tropical on the beach kind of a fragrance. It's more of a candied, syrupy, very, very sugar overdose kind of a fragrance. There was a bit of vanilla in here as well, especially coming out in the dry down. If you're a mango lover, I think that this is worth trying. If not, again, it's just very generic. I can't recommend it. However, both of these Yara fragrances are quite good for lasting. I'd say a good 4 to 6 hours. And not very expensive either. Next up, this is Kim Kardashian True Reflection. Now, this bottle I got as a tester. There's still a few drops in the bottle. I used up both the Yaras, I used this one up, and I really did enjoy this fragrance. But I'll tell you what I didn't enjoy is the bottle. I don't know if you can tell, but there's like this sprayed on, the black on it is sprayed on. This is clear, but it's supposed to look black like this. And it just, the sprayer is not very good. So when you spray it, it leaks down the side of the bottle, and then it peels off all the coloring, and I hated that. I pick it up and it would be all over the counter where I had it sitting. I'd get it in my hands. It would get on my clothes. Just really, really dislike this bottle. And for that reason alone, I would never buy it again. If it wasn't for that flaw, I would definitely repurchase this. Absolutely beautiful. There is a floral fruity quality to it, but it doesn't smell generic. It doesn't smell cheap. It's like a deep dark plum with gardenia and woodsy notes. And as it's drying down, it seems to me like there's a touch of chocolate in there. So I don't know if that's like a chocolatey plum or what. I'm not sure where that, there's definitely not that note in it. Otherwise, everyone would be buying it like crazy, because if something has chocolate in it, it just flies off the shelves. But this, I think, is just my impression of it as it's drying down, is there's a bit of a chocolatey note to it. And I always thought of it as a chocolate-covered plum, like a dried candied, like you'd get in a box that's covered with chocolate. Very, very nice. Really liked it. Long-lasting, good sillage. I got compliments on it. It's beautiful. But the bottle is such a pain that I would never repurchase it. All right, I have another gourmand. This is Al Rehab's Choco Musk. I've also been sick for a good couple of months with a cough, so excuse me if my voice is a little off, and I might even have to stop to cough a little bit, but I'm going to try not to. So Choco Musk is a very simple fragrance. It's warm musk with a lot of chocolate, but it's not dark chocolate. It's not milk chocolate. This is powdery chocolate cocoa mix. I really enjoy it. I really like it. In fact, I got a huge compliment on it. My daughter was here from the East Coast with her 2 children, and they stayed for about a month. And he's 4 years old, and I ended up wearing this for several days while they were here. And he came and sat in my lap one morning right after I'd gotten out of the tub and I'd applied this. And he turns to me and he says, "Grandma, why do you always smell so good?" and he really meant it. And he kept saying, "Oh, you smell so good." And just like a little 4-year-old boy would say, right? I mean, he's just beautiful. But anyway, that is probably the best compliment I've ever gotten in my life in terms of fragrance, and it was due to Choco Musk. Very inexpensive. It comes in a rollerball oil, and I've used that as well. They both last a good 6 hours or more. When I have applied this at night, it's still going strong in the morning. When I apply it to clothing, and if I put that shirt on the next day, I can still smell it. This bottle is under $20, and it's a 50 mil, excuse me. No, is it 60 or 50? It is 50. You know, I can't tell you guys. 50. It is 50. So anyway, absolutely beautiful. Highly recommend if you like chocolate. Next up, now for something, this is completely different. This is Halston Classic. This is a very nostalgic scent for me. It goes back to the 70s. In fact, I think it was 75 or 74 that it was originally released. This was all over in my childhood. Now, I'm a little girl. I'm not wearing Halston. But I remember they had these little, they were about this big, little sample bottles. They looked just like that, and they were everywhere. And I had a sample bottle. My mother had sample bottles. I mean, where they were coming from, I don't remember exactly. But it was just everywhere. The 3 top fragrances in terms of middle-class suburban housewife fragrances, I would say, would be Revlon's Charlie, Halston Classic, this fragrance here, and Avon Timeless. Those were the 3 that everyone had. And those 3 fragrances are all quite similar because that was the popular DNA of fragrance at the time. A floral chypre. This is very woody, very aromatic, very mossy. This was the, when you see old films of the clubs from the 70s, places where Blondie was hanging out, chances are they were all wearing Halston. To today's standard, this would be considered very unisex. Men could wear this no problem. When I spray it on, it reminds me a lot of Charlie Blue. It's like a more sophisticated wear, a more sophisticated formulation of Charlie Blue. However, I really like Charlie Blue. Charlie Blue is a little more mossy, a little more harsh and dry. This is smoother. It has more amber in it. And it's very chypre. If you like chypres and you haven't tried this yet, I really recommend it because it's not expensive. You can pick these bottles up for under $20. Easy. You could probably spend a lot of money on it, but you don't need to. You could find it a lot less expensive. And it lasts a good 6 to 8 hours. All right, next up, I have This is Armaf Club De Nuit Intense, and it's let me dust that off a little bit. It's not a fragrance I like, by the way. And the reason it's dusty is because it's been sitting in, like I said, the place that I apply fragrance in my home, and I haven't been wearing it. When I first pulled these fragrances out of my collection, I thought, I'm going to give this one a try again, because I remember when I first got it, I didn't like it. I'm really going to try to make friends with it, and I have not been successful. This is a chypre floral, and I know some of the notes: rose, saffron, nutmeg, vanilla. That sounds really interesting to me. I'm very adventurous when it comes to fragrance. I love trying things that are unique and new, but this does not smell like any of those things. I don't get rose, saffron. The only thing I get is dirty leather and horse barn. There's like that funky oud, and when I say funky, I mean it in a bad way, like horse barn oud. It smells dirty. It's terrible. I did try to wear it several times. I'd say the first 3 to 4 hours, hated it, absolutely hated it. After about 4 hours, there's a bit of a dark, plummy, musky kind of, it becomes softer. Those barnyard notes burn off, and you get more of a pleasant dry down, but I'm not willing to go through, I'm okay with a moment of disliking a fragrance, but not hours. I'm not doing hours. And I really hate this fragrance. I looked it up. Excuse me, I looked it up. Someone on Fragrantica had actually commented, if you want to smell like Karen from HR, that wear this. It's supposed to be a dupe for Tom Ford Noir de Noir, which of course I've never smelled. This, I remember making all the rounds, and everyone loved it on YouTube. It was considered a banger, a hidden gem, all of those things that everyone talks about. I think it's just disgusting, and I'm telling you, I'm going to bring this to the thrift store. Absolutely done. I'm never going to wear it again. Yuck. And of course, it's super strong and long lasting, of course, because that's how it works when you really hate it, right? All right. Thankfully, the rest of these I do not hate. I enjoyed them quite a bit. This is Oscar de la Renta's Live in Love, New York. You can see that there, New York. Now, when I first got this one out and wore it, I didn't care for it much. I picked up, it's got that kind of obnoxious orange blossom fragrance that smells like, what's the name of that? Oh, I forget, that really famous Lancome fragrance. Anyway, to me it smells like a screechy patchouli, but there is no patchouli in this fragrance. It's just a bit of a screechy orange blossom. However, as I wore it, and I wore it more and more, I came to like it. The orange blossom in here is sweet. This is kind of a sugary fragrance, but it's sugary sweet in a floral way, if that makes sense. It's also got a touch of Aquilina's pink sugar in it. That's how sweet it is. But it's like a flowery version of pink sugar, if that makes any sense. I'm kind of referencing for you a lot of fragrances that are reference fragrances, like pink sugar is a reference fragrance. What else would be? Britney Spears' Fantasy is a reference fragrance. Chanel No. 5 is a reference fragrance. So this one, I would say, definitely has a bit of pink sugar in it, but it's a grown-up version, a fully grown woman version of it. And like I said, at first I didn't like it, but I really do like it now. And I'm glad I have it, and I'll continue to wear it. Very, very nice. All right, next up. This is another one that I managed to empty. It was probably here when I pulled it off the shelf. I've talked about this before because I've been trying to use it up. This is Ajmal's Sonnet. You can see here, Sonnet. This is really very nice fragrance. I'm sure it's duping something, but I don't know what. This is considered an oriental floral, and the notes that come across in here for me is almond. It's got a real tuberose quality to it, and sandalwood. And those all kind of come together, and all throughout the wear of the fragrance, there's a lot of red berries. It's the bottle is not very attractive. However, I will say it's good for storing because the base is nice and wide, and it's really good for spraying. It's like just the way that the cuts on the bottle are is just perfect for holding it and spraying it. So I felt like that was a thoughtful touch. It's like a fresh fragrance, but it's dark at the same time with those berry notes, tuberose, and sandalwood, and then the almond in the opening. Really, really nice. Again, I don't know what it's duping, but it's really beautiful. I would repurchase it definitely for the right price. And I would say it lasts a good 4 to 6 hours. It's not super long lasting, but it's not a real short lasting one either. Definitely worth the money. And you know, if I own it, I'm sure it wasn't very expensive, but I bought it years ago, so I don't remember exactly what it cost. And I have two more. So this is Paris Hilton's Fairy Dust. I purchased this a while back as a result of a viewer recommendation because of my love for tuberose and that kind of saturated, what people call bubblegummy kind of tuberose. Someone had recommended this to me. Now, this doesn't actually have tuberose as a note that I could find. However, the notes do come across when they come together as tuberose. And I think what it is it's orange blossom is very prominent in this fragrance, mixed with musk and vanilla, kind of come together to make a accord that is similar to tuberose. It's very rich, heavy, creamy, beautiful, feminine fragrance. It's not powdery, it's more creamy. And what I love about it is that it's a floral without being fruity. I'm getting a little burned out on the fruity aspect of fragrances. I'm starting to find them to be a bit screechy and not as big a fan as I once was. However, this one is a nice alternative to that. If you're getting a little sick of the fruity floral, but you're looking for something that's inexpensive, very feminine, and you want that creamy quality in a floral, I highly recommend it. I would definitely repurchase. Beautiful fragrance. I think it's been discontinued, but I'm not sure. But I got this for a good price. It was not super expensive. It lasts a good 5 to 6 hours too, by the way. Absolutely beautiful. And I have one more. So this is Anne Klein, and this is my second bottle of Anne Klein. You can get these bottles for under $25 easily. I believe I got this. This was a sampler. Not sampler, a tester. That's what I'm trying to think of. It was a tester, but it did come with the top. I believe I bought this for about $15 on eBay. This one came out in the mid-'80s, and I remember going to an Anne Klein store in the 80s when I was in high school. I graduated from high school in 1986, if you want to know how old I am. And I remember there being an Anne Klein store in the mall that I worked in. And man, that was the place to go if you wanted an elegant dress. And I was going to go to a dance, and I tried on this black velvet long gown, floor-length gown. And I want to say it probably cost $100, which back in 1984, 1985 was like probably $1,000 today. There's no way I would have ever bought it. But I tell you, that dress fit so perfectly, and I still think about it to this day. You know, that's how it was, like that dress had been made for me. And every time I get out this perfume, it reminds me of that dress, of that day in that store. And I'm quite certain they were selling bottles of this fragrance there. And this is very classic kind of a bottle with the clear, very simple black lettering on black top, and has an excellent quality sprayer on it. This is proof that you can smell like $1 million for cheap. You do not need to spend a lot of money on perfume. You don't need to buy niche fragrances. You don't have to take out a second mortgage on your home in order to buy a great smelling fragrance, because you can buy this and smell like $1 million. What I get when I spray this is hyacinth in the opening. You get a lot of tuberose all throughout the wear, and in the base there's a lot of sandalwood and musk. It's very sophisticated. I'm sure it has many, many notes. It's one of those old school fragrances that is very complex, and it's very bright and happy at the same time. This, to me, does not smell like old lady, but that's just my opinion because I am a grandma, and I love old lady for perfumes. I love classic fragrances. So, and it's good lasting. This is also a good 4 to 6 hours, if not longer. So that is my blue bin fragrances. I need to use my inhaler because I'm starting to wheeze. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.